I want to share what I just read in 1 Samuel chapter 1, and it's in regards to prayer and the journey that God has you on, myself included. Starting at verse number 12. And it happened as she continued praying before the Lord that Eli watched her mouth. Now, the thing or the trial or the test that you're going through, God has you on display for so much more than just your own purpose or your own testimony. God is using you and He's got you on display. So Eli's watching her mouth. Now Hannah spoke in her heart. Only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought she was drunk. Do you understand that when God calls you out to do what only He has told you to do, that you will look strange to other people? Even to other Christians, especially to other Christians, especially if they are of the persuasion of the comfortable Christians, the couch cushion Christians, the ones that really want to play it safe, that still want to have one foot in the world and one foot in, dare I say, the church Sunday morning, maybe also Wednesday night, whenever you do your mid-service worship. But you got people that really don't understand what God has called you to because, one, it's not their journey, and two, they lack the discernment that is necessary to understand where you're going because they don't have intimacy with God. I digress. Let's go back. So let's go back to verse number 14. So Eli said to her, "How long will you be drunk? Put your wine away from you." Did this woman ever give any indication that she was drunk? He just assumed what he had seen from others. Oh, you're just being religious. Oh, you're just being, insert whatever accusation that you want to put in there. But when God calls us to do something, right? And I know I'm getting ahead of myself with the story, but the only way that Hannah was going to have it in her heart to dedicate her son to the Lord and really, really need to want a son is because God put it in her heart to want it in the first place. God knows the end from the beginning from the end, and wants to do a work in all of us and through us to accomplish His perfect will. But Hannah answered, it's verse 15, and said, "No, my Lord, I am a woman of sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor intoxicating drink, but have poured out my soul before the Lord. Do not consider your maidservant a wicked woman, for out of the abundance of my complaint and grief I have spoken until now." She's like, I'm respectfully saying you're wrong. I'm not drunk. Here's what's going on. How many times do we feel like we have to say that to other people? Well, maybe you should just talk to her. Oh, gee, I didn't think about that. That's going to work perfectly well. No, surely you did something to deserve this persecution. Surely, whatever it looks like in the natural. But we have to stand firm on the thing that God has placed in our hearts. Not return accusation or, how would I say it, be violent or nasty towards the people that are nasty toward us. But when God has given you a word and a desire, continue to press on towards that. 17. Then Eli answered and said, "Go in peace, and the God of Israel grant you your petition which you have asked of him." And she said, "Let your maidservant find favor in your sight." So the woman went her way and ate, and her face was no longer sad. Here's where it starts to get really good from what I saw. 19. Then they rose early in the morning and worshiped before the Lord. You must worship despite what it looks like, despite what it doesn't look like, despite how you feel, despite how you don't feel. We must worship. Our worship is a weapon. And it is the very, very, very least of what we can render unto God. We've been designed and created to worship Him. So then they rose early in the morning and worshiped before the Lord and returned and came to their house at Ramah. And Elkanah, that's her husband, Elkanah knew Hannah, his wife. Here we go. And the Lord remembered her. After the worship, after going back with that word and keeping it in her heart, after that petition went up, and the Lord remembered her. Her petition wasn't granted immediately. She did not just miraculously conceive. After they worshiped and the husband knew his wife, the Lord remembered her. He goes, I remember you. I remember what you said. I remember what you said you were going to do and what you wanted from me. Let's jump down to 20. So it came to pass in the process of time. I love that part. When Elkanah knew his wife Hannah, it didn't say immediately she had a child, immediately she became pregnant. It says, so it came to pass in the process of time that Hannah conceived and bore a son. He didn't say it was one pop stop, put it that way. It's like, okay, bam, we're done. No, it had to be believed. It had to be nurtured, that seed. She had to hold on to the hope that she had that God would bless her because the man of God, the prophet, told her, hey, it's going to go exactly how you want it to go. Let God bless you according to your petition. And I think I need to go back there because it's so deep. And Elkanah knew his wife, and the Lord remembered her. After they worship, he's remembering now. He didn't immediately grant it because it says, so it came to pass in the process of time that Hannah conceived and bore a son. That thing that you're waiting for, and I'm talking to myself too, this is what hit me. That thing that you're waiting for, God has answered it, but it's going to happen in a process of time that it will be delivered. You see, God is remembering us as we're going through it, and that blessing is already happening in the spirit, but it must manifest in the natural after a process of time. So let's go down. Now the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer to the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. I'm going to go back to 19 because I missed that part. So it came to pass in the process of time that Hannah conceived and bore a son and called his name Samuel, saying, because I have asked for him from the Lord. That's what his name means. Now the man Elkanah and all his house went up to offer to the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. 22. But Hannah did not go up, for she said to her husband, not until the child is weaned, then I will take him, that he may appear before the Lord and remain there forever. Hold up. This is where we start to look at the husband and wife relationship in the old days, as the best I could put it for right now. When people try to sometimes overemphasize how women were not valued or appreciated. And yes, culturally speaking, especially in that what we call the Middle East, it was like that in many pagan cultures. However, when you have Christ, Holy Spirit, God in you, your mind and your heart is changed. Here's a woman telling her husband what they're about to do because this is something that she had with the Lord. Now, she's not out of order when it comes to leading, dominating over him, or using it in a Jezebelic way. But she's saying, hey, I'm not going up there because I know when I go up there, that's going to be the time that I have to give my son over. I cannot risk going up and coming back with my son, going up and coming back with my son, and then not wanting to honor and fulfill the promise that I gave to the Lord on, say, his third birthday when he's weaned. So she says, no, I'm not going to go up there. I'm only going to go up when he's weaned, and our son is going to remain there forever. Check this out. Verse 23. So Elkanah, her husband, said to her, do what seems best to you. Wait until you have weaned him. Only let the Lord establish his word. Then the woman stayed and nursed her son until she had weaned him. Wow. Look at the husband honoring his wife, and even more so honoring the Lord, because the Lord is working through this, and the husband has enough humility and discernment to see, you are a righteous woman. Not only are you a righteous woman, it says that he loved her very, very much. And her word of, hey, we're going to give up our son was honored by him. Wow. Let's jump right down to verse number 27. For this child I prayed, and the Lord has granted me my petition, which I asked of him. The Lord remembered Hannah in verse 19, and now Hannah is remembering the Lord, or her vow to the Lord, in verse 27. For this child I prayed, and the Lord has granted me my petition which I have asked of him. Therefore I also have lent him to the Lord. As long as he lives, he shall be lent to the Lord. So they worship the Lord there. It's so important. I'm talking to myself too, that the things that we ask God for, there's a verse that says, we do not have because we do not ask. And when we ask amiss that we may spend it on our pleasures. What she asked for was to be a blessing to the lineage and the glory of the Lord. The things that we ask for that are good blessings, so the blessings of the Lord make rich and he adds no sorrow with it. Those things have to be given back to him. We have to hold it with this open hand. We can't have closed hands. We can't hold it like this because it'll slide off and we won't be a good steward of it. But our hands have to be closed just enough to catch it, but just enough that God can come in and take it. Whatever it is that you're praying for, it may look weird to others. Whatever season God has you in, it may look weird to others. They may think strange things or say strange things about you. But as long as you stay in close proximity to the Lord God Almighty, Yeshua HaMashiach, he'll get you through. He'll answer your prayer in the process of time. It is very frustrating sometimes when we're sitting there and waiting for that thing which we have prayed for such a long time. But if you know the Lord hears you and has heard your petition, wait on the Lord. He'll deliver you. In the process of time, you'll get that blessing. Peace.